This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back, everybody. This may be a little rhetorical, but we are living in some challenging times, shall we say. There's a lot going on. There's something new every day. So there's a lot of elevated stress and anxiety because of much going on. We just got out of COVID, and then there's more things going on. Have you taken time just to pause for a moment, just look at your life, reflect, kind of just take it all in? It's not easy, I get it. And that's why she is here. And she has a belief that we should master our moments and not be a victim of our day. And she's an amazing coach with so much to offer. We're going to talk with her today. I love the name of her practice. It's called Guided Resilience. That word resilience, so important. And let's talk about that today. Cami Smalley is on the program. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. I love the opportunity to talk about people's well-being. So thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for doing what you do and taking the approach that you take. Yes, there's lots of coaches out there. Many of them are fantastic. You view it a little bit differently. And I'm going to laser down and I'm going to be transparent. The word resilience resonates so much with me because of my journey. I didn't realize how resilient I was until I needed to be resilient. And then when you get that, like when people come up to you and say, how are you moving forward with all of this? I mean, how do you do it? And I just say, I just keep moving forward. Why? I have to feel that word resilience is important to you because you wouldn't have used it. Tell me, what's going on there?
Well, thank you. That's a great question. Well, I am married to my husband, Steve, is a cardiologist, and the journey to becoming a cardiologist is long and definitely requires resilience. But his version of resilience was one that didn't quite match with my background in physical education and then holistic health, which was holistically managing our resilience. And he laser focused, and that's education and training is 14 years, and then starting a practice and just really investing so much, like so many professionals do, but sometimes at the risk of being resilient to a fault. So I use that word both in building up people's resilience so that they can meet the demands of life, but then also being cautionary to recognize when they're too resilient, because then that leads to compassion fatigue, burnout, and some of those vulnerabilities that emerge because some people are so resilient.
I never looked at it that way. To me, resilience, just keep going, powering through, keep going, which you may need to do in some situations.
Yes, definitely times of life you need to do that. But then the way we live and move becomes habit, and habits are hard to break.
Oh, yeah.
And we are not the same physical, social, spiritual, mental beings at 45 that we are at 25. And so the bear down and work hard feels differently as we mature. And so there's just all kinds of opportunity for us to examine what does resilience mean at this phase, this season of my life, and keeping it in perspective to my holistic well-being.
So you talk about, difference between age 25, age 45, right? Would you say, and that we're not the same people, obviously, would you say you're not the same person 5 years ago?
Myself?
Yeah.
I'm absolutely a different person.
Me
and
too.
That's part of being, I think just reading recently about existential flexibility. I've had opportunities where my version of the world just, really had to change in order for me to survive.
We're talking the same language. I feel like you're me. It's
Yeah.
like kind of weird.
Well, this is I'm a mindfulness teacher, and I do individual work, but I also do group work. And one of the beautiful things about group work is that there is a common shared humanity. And that sometimes when we're suffering, we tend to isolate, which To some degree, like you going on a retreat, anyone going on retreat
Hmm.
is some need for that quiet, but there's also a vulnerability to pulling away when we need to be with other people because we are a communal species and
Yeah.
we can benefit by coming together.
You use the H word, habit, and everything can become, like to your point. And I have friends that have done this where they've kind of isolated, Mike's not, we don't see Mike around a lot. What's going on with him? I don't know. He's just at home watching Dexter all day long. What's up with him? Is he okay? It's all right. It becomes a habit where you just get into that groove of doing the same thing. Can be good, can be bad. Got to make that delicate balance between all of this, what we're talking about. And I'm right there with you. 5 years ago, different person, probably a different person from 5 years before, but there was some, changes in life that forced me to be a
Yeah.
different person, but for the better. Do you feel that when we go through challenges, that's where the transformation takes place?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's so many great quotes, there's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. And I really believe that. I couldn't do my work if I didn't believe that. And I also believe in the simple aphorism, all things work for our good. All
Mm,
things work for our good. So taking those most difficult times of our life and giving them the time and tenderness that they need to be integrated and experienced deeply
yeah.
and take the time to do the meaning making. And this is post-traumatic growth. I don't know if you've ever heard of that reference.
Nope.
Most people have heard of post-traumatic stress disorder,
Yep.
but there's actually most people experience post-traumatic growth. They work their way through, they're resilient through difficult times, and they actually grow. They gain new perspective, they deepen relationships, they find new resources. And unfortunately, in the pace and the intensity of most people's days, they don't take the time to be awake to that process. And the disadvantage of that is sadly life continues to happen and there will be another moment that knocks you to your knees.
Mm.
And it's valuable if I go through these uh, difficulties in my life awake and able to make connections to how did I do that? How did I survive? What were the strategies I used? So, yes, definitely the hard spots of life are perfect growth opportunities.
You are a coach, mind body practitioner. How do you coach? We got
Yeah.
the mind body practitioner. How do you verbalize that?
Well, you know what? Coaching can be just simply cognitive, strategic. Let's talk about what are your plans for the week, make them SMART goals, and all of that is very heady. But there's a lot of coaching that it also involves the body and the emotions. These are centers of intelligence that sometimes are left untapped. And some of the most powerful motivators come not from our head, but get overridden by the intelligence of the body and our emotions. I'm a heart math trainer, a mindfulness teacher, and heart
Ah,
math teaches us that our emotions change the way we see ourselves, others, and the world. So if we are looking to be, we can make goals cognitively and execute willpower and sometimes be successful, but for sustainability, for long time lasting change, it has to be a full integrated body, mind, and spirit kind of evolution.
there's so many pieces to this that I believe we don't realize. Let's look at one of them. Call it grounding. Just you always hear the term, getting back into nature. And, I think, oh, yeah, they like nature. That's great for them. I never realized what it does. And I guess my wake up came. Actually, I'm looking at the date. It was 3 years ago. I sold a house and renovated the whole backyard. Love tropical, so I made it tropical. Had palm trees and just
Yeah.
complete full transparency. I did a lot of the work myself. I was working a lot of early hours, small children.
Yeah.
And this was like 2016, gave myself an ulcer from the stress. But anyway,
Oh, yeah.
the wonderful part about it was I would go out and I would landscape and I would take a scissor and actually cut some of the bushes. Like, I'm not even kidding. It looks stunning. I was proud of it. Um, I have the dirtiest feet on the planet because I never wore shoes. And I just like walking in the dirt and everything. So then fast forward, I sell a house. I'm in between houses right now, just not the best market. Um, I didn't realize what that was my therapy, that being in the dirt. And I'm part of uh, a men's organization, and one of the men needed his backyard done. He had cancer. His wife was going for treatment. We go there, we're helping him, putting a mulch in, doing everything. I'm on my hands and knees doing, and he comes over, and he's starting to tear. He goes, "Thank you so much for doing this." And I said, "No, thank you for allowing me to do this because it brought me back to my grounding." So there's something there about that, in terms of our spirit and our well-being. Your epiphany for grounding, where did that come? Where did you realize that, oh, this is important stuff?
Oh my gosh, this goes back to one of my favorite places to be was sitting in the nook of a tree and
Mm,
as a child, and then just having a curiosity about recognizing that going to the woods, walking on the earth, listening to birds, feeling the wind and the sun, that was always a temple of connection for me,
I
body,
love
mind,
that.
spirit.
Mm,
And then I had the really rich opportunity of facing a fear with nature, which a lot of people do. They use nature as kind of a gateway to transcendence, like overcoming a fear, jumping out of a plane or
I'm doing
climbing.
that this summer, by the way, but anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And often those moments of transcending fear is accompanied by nature. I think there's something just very instinctual maybe there, and
Mm,
able to face a fear by learning to scuba dive. I was near phobic. I did not like being underwater, but my husband, I think, is a reincarnated sea animal. I mean, he could live underwater, and I wanted to do that with him, and so I overcame that fear, and that has become for me a source of anchor of attention for mindfulness practice. That's sinking below the surface of the water,
mm.
leaving the turbulence of the surface world behind and settling to
In the
neutral buoyancy
in the quiet calm down there.
and the quiet, and seeing most of our planet is underwater, and to be able to see the rich diversity of plant life and animal life that is there.
Mm.
Yeah, nature in so many ways is a gateway to a very deep and personal spirituality and health and whole well-being.
I never looked at it that way, and I'm sure myself, like others listening and watching, are starting to have those visuals. Like when I was a kid, I really didn't spend a lot of time outside and in the woods and all of that. Should have. But then I just realized that throughout my 20s and even 30s, the beach. I
There you
went
go.
like almost every day or every other day because I would work early on the radio in the morning, and then I would go to take my nap on the beach.
Yeah.
And so I just realized that just now I was grounding, being back in nature
It's
all the
very
time.
instinctual. At the
Yeah.
pandemic, I realized I worked at the time I was working in a hospital. So I was working with people
Mm,
that were facing that head on. And I
wow.
can't tell you the number of people that instinctually went to gardening, to falling on their knees on the earth, taking naps. Of course, being out in the fresh air was one of our safest places we could be.
Sure.
It was a force to return to. What have forgotten is one of the places that we feel healthiest and whole.
You, aside from coaching, offer something called movement meditation. Now,
Yeah.
meditation, we always hear it's really important. We should be doing it. We can get into that, but movement meditation, what's going on there?
Well, that's yoga.
Oh,
So I teach
duh.
yoga. I'm a trained yoga teacher, but
Wow.
I'm not a purist. So I've dabbled in qigong, and I'm trained in yoga, and then this is just a hybrid experience, but it's not what it's not is a workout. So the West, what we tend to do is take things and sensationalize them in ways. And one of the sad things is sometimes yoga is turned into simply a workout. And it is a way of coming in touch with the body, the mind, and the spirit. And so movement meditation is an opportunity where we settle into the temple of the body in stillness. We anchor the mind in a thought, a theme. We connect with the breath and we use emotion. The postures can have meaning. Our postures are always a reflection of an inner taste of what we're experiencing. So connecting the thread of how I'm moving my body with my breath to support an aim, a thought, and to use renewing emotions to give it the lift, the energy that we need, all in service of generating a day, like you
Mm.
said, to become a master, to become equipped to be a master of our moments and not a victim of our day.
Meditation. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I experiment with it from time to time. When you meditate, do you sometimes feel like you're transported for just a moment or more?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Sadly, those are rare treats.
Right?
It takes a good amount of time of stillness to let the distractions in body, mind, and spirit kind of fall away. But yeah, those are sweet. Have you experienced that?
More and more. Um, Yesterday, I was at the
Yeah.
gym and I'm, on one of the machines, I'm listening to music, and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to stop working out for a moment. And I was staring at a bolt on one of the machines in front of me. And for, I want to say maybe 30 seconds or so, I felt like I was disconnected from it all and just in a place, just, maybe in my own place, but it was kind of wonderful. It was like, I don't really care who's around me. I don't care who's looking. I don't, and there was, distractions, but I was like,
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm out. I'm good. I'm just, kind of reflecting on maybe, I didn't even know what song was on. It's almost like the music went away. It was very weird.
That's very interesting. I would love to have a coaching conversation around that because I find it really, I would love to explore the anchor of the bolt, and what that bolt.
It's just an object. That's all it is. It's just to get you out of your head. I mean, I could be on the treadmill and stare at a nail on a pole outside and just it takes you away. Um, I'll share this real quick because love talking with you. Like you're deep, but in a way where you can understand. Um, I once did a session of something, I'm not even sure what it was, with someone where was staring at one of those stress relief balls, the ones with all the
Yeah.
little spikes, rubbery.
Yeah.
Um, and she just said, keep staring at it. Just, and so after about 4 or 5 minutes, it took me back to my 20s where I used to jog on a track and listen to music. And that was my happiest time. I would
Yeah.
like jog forward, I would jog backwards. And I felt like I was there at that moment. And then I had another visual of that. And my takeaway was go back to being a kid, go back to doing those little silly things that brought you joy. I love music. So that was my opportunity to listen to music, exercise at the same
Yeah.
time. But I felt like I was there. Weird.
Oh. Connecting the dots. That's what a pause
Oh.
can do, is just give an opportunity for us to catch up with ourselves and connect some very important insights, experiences. I
Mm.
love that your two examples, one you said took 30 seconds, and the other was less than a couple of minutes that she had you 4 minutes, maybe you
Yeah,
said. And that's what's really amazing is that people think that it takes a lot of time to devote to some of these practices. Now, that said, the more we practice, the more benefits that we get. But
sure.
as far as self-regulation, the returning to a wakefulness, a consciousness, the present moment awareness, and to shift the inner landscape in a way that serves highest good, that can happen in that 30 seconds.
for sure.
And so it's a skill that people could really benefit from, that it doesn't take a lot of time.
Wasn't even trying. I was just like, yeah, you know what? I'm taking a second from the gym here. And that's my method, just staring at an object. And there's nothing wrong with being in the present and being here, but it was kind of nice being transported in, I guess, within. I don't even know, but it was uh, just a calming, relaxing moment, I guess.
So
I
Steve, you
guess
said something very important. You started out saying that you're working on meditation, and I almost paused you there because the whole idea, and you came around to it, you didn't work at it when it arrived. It arrived easy when you surrender. When we stop working and trying to force something to happen,
truth.
it's about just stopping and surrendering what we're doing and allowing the beautiful present moment to be what it is. That's meditation.
We overthink it, and I could go back 3 years ago. I could tell you where I was. I was in my car. It was Easter. I was staring at the ocean. I was going to, go to a Easter dinner or something like that. I'm like, I have a couple of minutes. Great weather. Rolled the windows down, and I'm just, trying to meditate. And I fell asleep. Nothing wrong with that. But I was trying. I was trying too hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just sharing this because I think a lot of us wrestle with it. And,
Oh yeah.
you know,
When I work with folks, I watch for the words like I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to push away certain other things. And that's all an indication of no wonder you grow fatigued with your efforts with meditation because that's not what it's about.
mm,
I have a great acronym for a way to take that pause. You want to hear it?
please.
So I'm a strong fan of integrating the heart. The heart is the inner compass. And so we can take the acronym for heart, and the H is a reminder to put the mind into the heart. That's the first step. We're not going to think our way there. We put our mind in the heart. The E is to breathe with ease
Mm,
and out of the heart. The A is to allow the distractions and sensations that come into my awareness to arise and pass. We're just watching them, so allow. And then the R is when we notice we've been distracted to return. R is for return, ever so gently,
mm,
without judgment, without saying I'm bad at this, with frustration that this is the 12th time that I've, been distracted, to return ever so gently, as if the return is the beauty of the practice that you get to choose. And then the T is that's how we transform, that's how we transcend. So the heart is a great companion in orienting us to that inner work that makes our outward living so satisfying.
thank you for that. And I believe that most of us don't believe that it starts with the heart. We get in our head
Mhm.
instead of thinking about our heart, which is it's almost like another entity within. It's almost like it has a brain. And on
Well, so now, Steve, the heart actually does have they're in science it is referenced as the heart brain. So most people don't realize that the heart actually sends more messages to the brain than the brain sends to the heart.
wow, didn't
So
know that.
it's not just fluff to say put your mind in your heart. Every wisdom tradition, every scientific understanding of mindfulness understands that when I sink out of my head down to my heart and I breathe, this is heart math. If I breathe in and out of my heart, we change our heart rhythm pattern. This is heart rate variability. Our watches, our smartphones are telling us about heart rate variability.
Mm,
That's an indicator of my ability to become a master of my moments. And I regulate my heart rate variability by my breath and by cultivating renewing emotion. When I
wow.
settle in with beautiful music or on a seashore, I naturally become calm, peaceful, maybe joyful, feel the wonder and awe of a beautiful world. And evidence shows that when I can find that, return ever so gently to the heart, no matter the conditions I'm in, it changes the way I see you, others, myself, and the world. And boy, doesn't our world need that right now.
For sure. And once you call it master this or understand it, experience it, don't you look forward to going back?
Oh, yeah.
Just yeah, and going back could be anything. It could be I meditate in when I wake up first thing in the morning, or when I lay down and whatever. I get into a zone, and it's like, oh, that's my happy place. Everything is good. You use the word moment a lot. We're just about out of time. We're at a moment. um,
Yeah.
that was my game changer 4 years ago, where I just ran into somebody, met somebody, and we got to talking, and they said, "Why don't you live in the moment?" And I'm like, what do you mean? You always live in the past, you live in the future, you don't live in the moment. I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't get it. It took me a few months to start figuring it out. And then once I did, oh, that's where it's all good, right?
Yeah.
Slice this second right now. What's wrong with it? Here's the next one.
Grow the spaciousness of the now.
Yeah.
That's the gift of presence.
Cami, how do we connect with you?
Cami at guidedresilience.com is my email. My website is guidedresilience.com.
Wonderful talking with you today. I know for some of us, this is woo. You make it very easy to understand and also back it up by a lot of science. We're not just making this stuff up.
No.
Yeah, and this has been a lot of the practice, meditation and such, hundreds, if not thousands of years.
Right. We're at a beautiful time. Science and spirituality are really affirming one another now with
Yeah.
really good evidence that this stuff matters.
I agree, and I feel that society is now open to this, where, years ago, you push it away, but now people are looking for it. They're hungry for something, and this
Yeah.
is it. Appreciate you being here today. I know you're available for individual coaching, so many other things, heart math, which we'd love to get to if we ever get to sometime.
Yeah.
And again, the website, one more time, share it, please.
Guidedresilience.com.
Beautiful. Thanks for being here today. Really, really appreciate it. And I feel relaxed just talking with you.
Very good.
Fantastic.
Well, and you have the ability to sustain that. So enjoy.
We all do. All right. We'll be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.